Good afternoon, everybody. We are here on our very last webinar series, ResRequest webinar series. Super excited to have everybody who's joining us for the last one. It has been an interesting and informational road that we've had together, and it's just exciting to see potentially that we've helped our clients get information that they may not have necessarily been privy to before, or information that they wanted to just have better understanding with. So about to have our last session, which is the Trilogy for hoteliers. And our power panelist this week is Albert Smith. He's a ResRequest business consultant. Anna, I'm not going to say your surname, Anna, just not to offend you by mispronouncing it, who is the Chief Operations Officer for TallOrder and the co-founder for TallOrder, a point-of-sale partner, and Belinda Blakeman, who's our data projects manager. So they will be going through our presentation for today and just highlighting the trilogy. And basically the trilogy that we're going to be talking about, oopsie, just go to the previous one. Tom is too excited. Yeah, actually, before I do go to the trilogy that we'll be talking about, I will go to Dr. Tom first, as we have done in previous sessions, and we've seen that it has worked very well. Dr. Tom will just quickly highlight what's happening in the world of data and tell us about tourism today. So over to Dr. Tom. I think it should play.
Hi, everyone. A big thanks to ResRequest again for letting me introduce tourism today. Some of you who have been on this series of webinars over the last few weeks may have heard a little about tourism today and ResInsight. But for those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Tom, and along with Kate, we produce both Tourism Today and a product called ResInsight. ResInsight is an application that lifts your ResRequest data and redeploys it inside a best-in-its-class business intelligence tool called ClickView. The application is available in the cloud and focuses on shortening reporting turnaround times with many of our pre-built reports and charts, as well as many customizable options. We believe that the application empowers the user towards better decision-making and a real grasp on the trend affecting your businesses. On the other hand, Tourism Today is an industry-wide collaboration that aggregates and anonymizes data from participating hotels. We have a number of participating PMS vendors and already have more than 400 hotels across 11 countries in Africa that we extract data from. But we've only just gotten started. The web version is now live, and we are onboarding new systems and hotels as fast as we can. We aim to have several thousand hotels so that Tourism Today users will have access to the trends at play in tourism across the continent. Last week, we briefly touched on how Kenya falling off the UK's red list had made an immediate and measurable impact on sales activity. We're hoping to see the new revisements from the UK, due to be announced as early as tomorrow, make a similar impact across the 11 other countries that we follow. But given that the UK consistently falls and features in the top 6 of our source markets, I thought we'd have a slightly closer look at them. The first thing to notice, and I'm looking at the right-hand side of the chart here, is that the UK has booked 40% more bed nights in the last 30 days than they did the same time last year. And that's great news. But they're still 45% off the same amount of bed nights that booked in the comparative 2019 period. And I did a little picking on that trend and compared it to how things looked 4 weeks ago. Then bookings weren't just 45% off the same bed nights for 2019, they were 60% off of 2019's performance. And they were only 15% up on last year. So things are definitely trending upwards. Altogether, 4 weeks ago, things were looking a lot gloomier than they are now. Looking at this slide, I'm zooming in on the last 30 days bookings compared to the right-hand column, which was the same 30 days in the 2019 period. You'll notice here that Botswana is 43% down on where it was in 2019. But 4 weeks ago, that figure was over 50%. Kenya at the moment is 16% down. 4 weeks ago, they were over 36%. And similarly, Tanzania was 18% down, whereas 4 weeks ago, they were over 30%. Looking at the bottom there, you'll see that the overall picture is that we are currently 20% down on 2019 performance. But 4 weeks ago, that was over 27% down. So the data is telling us that there are some positive movements materializing. These two charts illustrate that October is typically a boom month for sales teams across Africa, particularly after the mid-year lulls. We'll be watching closely to see if looser traveler restrictions and a traditionally busy month for reservation teams create some more positive news for what is emerging as a recovery. If anyone has questions on how, why, and where to access tourism today, please get in touch with ResRequest support and they'll put us in touch.
Thanks again, Dr. Tom. It's always very insightful to see where we are in the industry. So, like I mentioned, today's aim really is to talk about the trilogy, and the trilogy that we're going to be talking about is your PMS system in relation to your point of sale system, in relation to your accounting system. And our aim is to make you understand the transactional flow used by hotels, the value of point of sale and inventory system, the inventory system provides, and then adding your POS to your operations. Because when you've done this, it should mean that you should then have accurate POS posting to items relevant to your folios in ResRequest, accurate stock posting accurate stock movement to your accounting system, and then accurate revenue reconciliation, posting invoices from ResRequest into your accounting system, and then also have accurate receipt conciliation, posting receipts from ResRequest into your accounting system. So that's what we're going to be looking into today. And then I'll then start off with Albert and let him walk us through his portion of the conversation for today, which is just to tell us about a high level of how the transaction business flows between ResRequest and point of sale and accounts.
Thanks, Ntando, and thank you for having me part of your web series again. In our second web series, we spoke to several industry specialists who shared ideas of ways to boost your reservation sales in your business. The 4 sales channels discussed are listed here, which is your central reservations. This is your central reservations office making reservations. Direct booking online, which is your ResNova. For those of you that don't know what ResNova is our booking widget, which enables you to embed your ResRequest availability and rates anywhere on your website. Then we have travel agents online, which is ResConnect. It's agents, tour operators, and online travel channels are able to integrate their online platforms with ResRequest properties and make bookings through that. And then also we have channel managers and OTA bookings, which is SiteMinder, Knightsbridge, Expedia, Booking.com, and Etiquette. Now, once these channels are connected to your ResRequest, these sales made are created in ResRequest. A financial record is automatically created in ResRequest during this process, and the data of these financial transactions is the reservation contact. Initially, when the reservation is created, this transaction reflects as a pro forma invoice, and the payment received is stored in ResRequest linked to the pro forma. Financial components of this invoice are determined by how your rates and taxes are structured for each accommodation type and how commissions have been set up for each agent. Once the sale is generated in ResRequest, the financial transaction is automatically generated. Then, once a day, week, or month, the accounting team batches these transactions from ResRequest into your relevant accounting package via a CSV batch process, which I will explain in a further slide. Posting specific rate components and debtors to the exact accounts is depending on the mapping being set up and kept updated in ResRequest. Taxes are also created and posted to your accounting system. ResRequest posts to the following accounting system: Great Plains, NetSuite, Pastel Evolution, Sage 1, Pastel Partners, QuickBooks, Sage 300, Tally, Twinfields, and last but not least, Xero. For customers running multiple companies in ResRequest, The system processes transactions in the same way. However, transactions are linked to a specific entity are shown above, meaning that you can manage multiple properties for multiple entities in one reservation system. Ntando, if you can just go to the next slide there. Now you can see here in the same graph, you can see that it now will post specific transactions to the specific entity it belongs to. Now, how does it work and how does ResRequest enable these financial transactions? You can go to the next slide, Ntando. I'll show an easy, quick overview on how we do that within the ResRequest system. Okay, so how do we post from ResRequest to accounts? The first thing is to set up the interface. That's basically mapping your GL codes and your revenue centers within the ResRequest system to your chart of accounts in your accounting system. Then step 2 is to generate those invoices. That's when you convert your pro forma invoices to tax invoices. And this happens within the ResRequest system. Number 3 is batching those transactions. Now, what does that mean? That means bundling all the transactions for the specific period, as mentioned previously, at a day level, a weekly level, or at a monthly level, and posting that batch into your accounting system. And then lastly, import that batch file. So from ResRequest, you export your batch file into a CSV format, and then import that into your accounting system. Thanks, Ntando. You can now proceed to the next slide. A second area typically generating financial transactions is your front of house, which is your on-site sales. These sales also need to be captured into your accounts. The process is similar to your reservation sales. However, these sales are generated from activities, restaurants, wellness spa, or even a curio shop, and many more. For multiple properties, we can differentiate invoices by having these sales linked to separate business entities. For example, if your reservation sales belong to company A and your front of house sales belong to company B, we can set your system up to accommodate for both entities and posting those financial transactions to each company independently. Now, a commonly asked question is, what if I would like a more effective way of tracking my front of house sales and especially my stock? The way we handle this is we integrate it with a point of sale system. It's great to have Anna here to discuss more about the features of point of sale. Once she has worked through this, I'll explain how point of sale and inventory costs are posted into accounts. Now, Anna, can I ask you, what do customers get from a point of sale system, and how does TallOrder help us in the market?
Thanks, Ntando and Albert, for giving me the opportunity to explain a little bit more about point of sale and how TallOrder can benefit your customers. I think the main point around a point of sale is, even with COVID-19 and the effect that it has had on the hospitality industry, it's quite important for any lodge to provide customers with excellent customer service. And therefore, a point of sale integrated with a PMS system allows you to actually bill your customers and take payments very easily and efficiently, and that will differentiate you from other lodges. A customer that comes to a lodge would like to be able to settle their bill at the end of their stay, and with the integrated solutions such as TallOrder and ResRequest, that is made possible. Not only do a point of sale such as TallOrder allow you to efficiently work capturing your sales data, it is also an efficient system to track your inventory and therefore make your whole business more efficient and effective. And Ntando, you can go to the next slide. Okay, so what I've just explained in short, just going through those points, obviously you would like your customers to have a seamless check-in and check-out experience, making it something that they will talk about later on. I think that there's nothing more worrying than you want to leave for the airport, etc., and you can't settle your bill. So allowing that seamless check-in and check-out experience is quite important for customer service. Then having make use of a mobile point of sale. That's one additional benefit that we see, where you can have your waiters service your customers at the poolside, at different places, like if there's going to be a game drive, etc., etc. That allows you to actually capture all of that information with your sales and post that through to your PMS system. The same with any room service or charges that you would like to process, or spa treatments, or any other amenities, such as at the bar, etc. So through the integration from the point of sale through to ResRequest and through to the accounting system, it also allows you to take away a lot of the burden of administrative tasks inside a large environment, so that your staff can actually focus on the whole guest experiences and not worry about the administrative burden that can be placed on you if you don't have a working system. And one area which is quite important as well, obviously, is the inventory management, making sure you know how much stock you have, when do you need to buy new stock, managing your suppliers, all of those, and that can be done very effectively through the use of a point of sale. Okay, yeah, and just then in end, I think the TallOrder point of sale integration with ResRequest allow for a seamless connection between point of sale and a property management system, and therefore allowing you, as I said, to give your customers excellent customer experience and support. Thank you, Ntando.
Thanks a lot, Anna. That was really helpful. I think now we're definitely understanding where the integration comes in. I'll post it back to you, Albert, just to because you spoke about, you'll talk us through how POS transactions are posted to ResRequest. I think that's also going to help just highlight the situation a little bit more for us, and where we are for our clients to understand what's the benefits here and the business use case.
Thanks, Ntando. Yeah, no, look, Anna, I think, working with you over the last few months, we've seen quite a benefit in a up-posting with most of our clients in the way that they've worked with the system integrations. Now, what you'll see in front of you now is basically a little ecosystem of how all the transactions work within your system. Now, let's just start at the top left. If we look at sales first, we can see that the flowchart above, that all sales are posted to ResRequest by either posting a sale directly in ResRequest, which is your reservation sales, or additions, which could be game drives, balloon rides, or sundowners. These are extras that you post within the ResRequest system. Or a sale from TallOrder, which could be drinks at the bar, a massage, or a lunch at the restaurant. And those transactions are posted to ResRequest by either the room, cash sales, or to the guest directly. Once the guest departs, those folios get invoiced and the transaction items get created, which get posted to your accounting system, which means that all sales get posted into ResRequest and from ResRequest into your accounting system. If we look at your cost of sales, TallOrder tracks your stock movement. So when stock is sold, the sale gets posted to ResRequest. However, your stock movement is recorded in TallOrder and posted via an API to your accounting system, which means that ResRequest posts your sale and TallOrder posts your stock movement. Lastly, let's look at purchases. When stock and goods are purchased, TallOrder generates a purchase order which has to be approved. The creditor and the inventory transactions are recorded in TallOrder and posted to the relevant creditors and inventory accounts in your accounting system. I would now like to introduce Belinda, who drives and implements our TallOrder projects. Belinda, can you help us understand how ResRequest and point of sales are implemented together?
Hi guys, thanks Albert. So TallOrder and ResRequest have an integration, as you've already heard. Both our integrations run via web. They're both online. So TallOrder's web-based, ResRequest is web-based. Your property server can also be web-based, as some of you may know. TallOrder, we set up a location being property A and location being property B. These can be within one TallOrder account or in separate accounts, depending on how you run. If they all fall under one invoicing unit, you'll run one tall order account. If they're separate invoicing units, you'll run 2 tall order accounts. And as Albert mentioned, with the mapping, everything that comes from tall order into ResRequest will post to your Xero or Pastel or Sage accounting system as through ResRequest. So for those of you that need an offline system, I would recommend we basically test a connection to your server, and we can run a few tests using a ResRequest property server. If on the web, if this doesn't work, we do interface to POS, who are offline. Although the good news is TallOrder is working on an offline opportunity for this. They are working on an offline version for us. So let me talk you through a basic setup for TallOrder. Thanks, Ntando, I didn't even have to ask. So in TallOrder, we'll start at the bottom on the left. You can have a bar account set up. You can have a restaurant area set up. You can have a courier shop, and then obviously we've got inventory where we control your stock and purchases. These can be run off POS device. Your POS device can be run off a laptop. It can be run off a touchscreen POS machine, or you can use a tablet, a mobile phone. Any item can run this, which, as Anna said, helps with your waiter. If they're down by the pool bar, they can literally go to the guest sitting at the pool and take their order for their drink. Once they post it through the bar, so I'm just going to use the bar as a example. Once they do the post at the bar, it sends a receipt to the bar printer, and it will send you'll see this little image down at the bottom where the chef is. It'll send a kitchen slip to the kitchen. If it was a drink that needed, for example, a milkshake where you've got items that come out the kitchen and it gets made in the kitchen, it will print a KOT slip, and likewise from a restaurant that would happen. Then we go up to the top at TallOrder, and here everything's gone into TallOrder. Now the guest says, okay, I'm going back to my room, please can I have a slip to sign? You have 3 options to sign it out, be it a room, be it cash, or be it a house account. Now, what we are using house accounts for are things like clients who are staying on full board, so they perhaps get all their drinks and all their meals free. You would post it to a house account, and this would mean your cost of sales will still show that as a cost, your stock will still be deleted, but the guest won't be charged in ResRequest. We do interface to cash sales and credit cards. Ntando, what are you? Ntando's losing my screen there for me. So we do post to cash sales and credit cards, which can be automatically posted into ResRequest to one folio or many folios on a particular booking. Alternatively, you can search for the room that's been checked in at ResRequest, and you can bill it to a client room. So if your client is paying for their drinks, you can bill to their room, and it will hit our ResRequest servers. And when your guests check out, you literally print an invoice from ResRequest. They can check and see if they're happy with their charges, and you can lodge a payment for them at the end of that. As I said, inventory, TallOrder controls all your inventory and your stock. So as long as you've got recipes built for your restaurant items, usually these are your high cost items, not so much a pinch of salt, but more your meats, your dairy, your sugar, all the cost items, that the high level costs. So as long as you've got your recipes built up, your stock will deduct and give you an accurate reading at the end of the month. Ntando, can you go on to the next screen for me? So for those of you who are wondering what it takes to set up, we can set you up in 7 easy steps. Our first step, we would have a conversation with the stakeholders within your company and assess your needs. Once we've done that, we will provide hardware recommendations for you, which you are able to purchase directly yourself, or TallOrder can assist you with that purchasing. Then once again, we start working with the stakeholders and the team on the ground to make sure the data and your operating procedures are set up, your SOPs. Once that's done, our tech team work with your tech guys on site if you've got your own tech team, or they can just remote into machines if somebody gives us TeamViewer, because we can do this all remotely. So our tech team set up your hardware and make sure everything we've set up in step 3 is running as it should. Then we can do this on site once vaccinations have happened and we are allowed to travel and our HR is not concerned anymore. Alternatively, we train your team via Google Meets or Skype, and we run tests with them at the end of the sessions just to make sure your team know fully what to expect and they understand. During this whole process, we're still talking to the stakeholders and ensuring that the stakeholders know where they are at with the team and their staff on the ground. Once your team go live, we meet with them every day for half an hour to an hour, depending. It's usually for about 6 weeks. We call these coffee chats. So anything that comes up while you're going live, be it oops, we didn't think to add this, or we didn't think about this, how can we work with it? That happens. So we meet with the team just for 6 weeks. We can extend it if need be, so that we know your team are comfortable. And once that happens, we hand you over to our frontline team, who, along with TallOrder via WhatsApp and telephone and email, we can provide service here, the support you require. So on that note, I'm going to hand back to Albert and he can continue with you.
Thanks, Belinda. That's amazing to see. Just to highlight that again, is that not only do we support your ResRequest product, but we also support your TallOrder, which means that you have one service provider that can assist with everything. And as Belinda mentioned above, we've got support chat, which includes Skype groups, WhatsApp chats, as well as obviously our normal email module as well. So if we look at the image that's in front of us now, you'll see that from ResRequest, we record and post your accommodation revenue, your ResRequest extras, your point of sale extras, your VAT, your receipts, and your debtors from ResRequest into your accounting system. And from TallOrder, we record and post your inventory and your purchase orders. So in summary, Sandra, if you can go to the next slide. To have the operational trilogy a hotelier needs, our recommendation would be ResRequest for your sales and property management, TallOrder for your point of sale and inventory management, and a great accounting system. By adding these processes, you can manage these systems effectively. And by adding more layers, like those we've spoken about in the previous webinars, we can improve efficiencies of sales. And Tando, thank you for inviting us to this webinar, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Albert, Anna, and Belinda. I see there is a question that just came in here, so let me go back to the previous slide. It's asking you, Albert, to explain. It's actually anyone on the panelists who would like to take it up. Can you explain more about how to post cost of sales and purchases? Who would like to take that one up?
I can take it over from here. Thanks, Ntando, and thank you for whoever posted that question. So how cost of sales would work in this scenario is that your purchases work from your TallOrder system, where you create a purchase order, which we can obviously go a little bit more into detail, but I know Ntando will wring my neck if I go too much in detail. Basically, when we're talking about purchases, a purchase order is created, which can have multiple different levels of sign-off. For example, if we're talking about in zero, that purchase order needs to get approved, signed off, and then the purchase order can come into your system. If we're talking about cost of sales itself, obviously TallOrder manages your inventory and ResRequest manages your sales, which means that when I post from ResRequest to your accounting system, we're talking about items that were sold. And when you post from TallOrder to your accounting system, it posts your inventory. So managing that within your accounting system shows your opening balance of inventory, your closing balance of inventory, managing the stocks sold through the ResRequest system. You're more than welcome to contact us afterwards and we can explain this to you in detail. We have a full SOP set up for these things. that we can work through with our clients.
Thanks for telling me that I'm on mute, Albert. Yeah, I am talking to you. Thank you. What I was saying there is thank you for telling us about that. Yeah, your explanation there. I was quickly trying to go back to the slide that that does cover this in more detail, but I think we got it there. Yeah, so we are running a little bit early because we wanted to make sure we paid back for our overgoing extras on our previous webinars, where we, I think on one webinar, we went over by a whole 30 minutes. So we're basically paying back on our time. I'm gonna just see if any other questions do come in. Yeah, I see, Anna, that you're saying you could also just talk a little bit more about how promotions and loyalty programs work within a point of sale. I think that's definitely a good topic before we close up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, you know, we spoke a lot about the inventory and obviously posting the sales, etc. But there are other features in TallOrder such as loyalty, promotions, you know, those kind of setups that you can also add and, you know, grow your customers through that information going forward. And I think that's also quite a big benefit that you can offer through the point of sale as well. And then, yeah, just, you know, TallOrder was built around speed and accuracy and obviously affordability, built locally and supported locally in South Africa, and then obviously focusing around Africa as well. So just so you know, those are the things that we focus on as a business to make it efficient, affordable, and fast.
I see, thanks a lot, Anna. I see another question has come in there, asking Bells and how we handle cash sales from TallOrder.
So what happens with a cash sale? TallOrder set up what we call outlet sales. So they turn on outlet sales for a tenant. What this means is anything that is posted that is not a ResRequest room charge. So if you hit the cash button, you hit the credit card button, you hit a house account button, which where a lot of people want this zeroed, we use promotions to zero it down so that the house account is not charged an amount. And this comes through to your cash sales. So anything that's over and above a room charge, as you can see in the middle there, checkout sale 2, anything that's not a room charge goes through to ResRequest. We have a way of monitoring this. We set up a templated booking in the system. And if you have no cash sales today, a booking won't be created. But if you have a cash sale tomorrow, and the minute you hit that cash or credit card button, it sends the charge directly to ResRequest. It creates a reservation for you called cash sales. We work with you to set that up, and it posts from there to your accounting system. What we have found, we have some clients who want all their cash sales from all Curio Shop, restaurant, activities, bar, all posted to one reservation. We can do this. Some clients wanted to know what were their bar cash sales, what were their restaurant cash sales. So we set up bookings for your bar, we set up booking for your restaurant, and we set up a booking for your Curio Shop. The nice thing about this booking is it doesn't need to be checked in. So your team on the ground don't have to remember to make a new booking at the start of every day or at the start of every month. The booking is automatically created for you.
Linda, I'd just jump in there on the cash sales. Obviously, if we're talking furthering that, obviously those transactions get posted into ResRequest to a sales folio. And that folio in the back end, we map that to direct sales. And then that will post, obviously not just to your direct sales, instead of posting to an agent debtor or to a direct guest, but post to your sales account within your accounting system. So it works all the way through from TallOrder to ResRequest to your accounting system.
And if I just can add there, from our side, the TallOrder reports are quite detailed. So it's very easy to do a full reconciliation to make sure that nothing has been missed.
There's two questions that have come in. There's one about the fiscal machine, and then another one about end of day processes. The fiscal machine one I'll do last because it might deter the conversation, but it's posing it back to you, Bells, and then anyone else can also jump in about end of day processes.
So what we've done as ResRequest, we've taken TallOrder reporting and we've taken ResRequest reporting, and we are able to assist you with running what most people know in the industry as a night audit, which can be run at the close of your day or the next morning using reports from TallOrder and ResRequest. You do have to run an end of shift in TallOrder every day to close your waiters out. And then between the TallOrder reports and the ResRequest reports, we can help you balance the two out with your night audits to run your night audit. This is part of the SOP. When we start talking to the stakeholders on the ground, it's what we start doing. We build it into the SOP. So we've already got that for you. I know we're going back to the fiscal machine, but we just, from a TallOrder perspective, I'm not sure if Anna's aware, we've just had a successful fiscal machine set up at one of our clients in Kenya, where they are using the fiscal machine through their TallOrder system.
That's awesome. Also, Bells, just out of curiosity, how long does it take to implement one property on a point of sale where they have just a single property where they have a bar, a cure shop, and a restaurant?
So this will be determined by the client. If you've got your data, we can have you set up within a week to 2 weeks. If you haven't got your data and we're trying to clean up messy data, it could take us to get your POS running up to a month, if not more. It all depends on the data we receive and how quickly we can move with a client.
Yeah, I think nobody has ever said this, but I'm going to be the first one to say it. Good data, clean data is next to godliness. So we need to make sure that our data is always clean. I'm stealing phrases and putting them together. Why the heck not? Moving back to you, Albert. So can you tell me about the fiscal machine? How does our interface work with the fiscal machine? Because we obviously know in most of our East African countries, this is a huge requirement. So the posting does not stop at accounts and an accounting system, but it has to go all the way to a fiscal machine. And so can you just let us know how does that work?
Thanks, Ntando. For those who are not aware, a fiscal machine is basically a printer that is supplied by your tax authorities, which embeds a barcode on your tax invoice and sends your taxes through to your tax authorities. Thank you for the question. So how ResRequest handles that is obviously each lodge deals with a tax consultant, and we will get in contact with your tax consultant as well as the person on the ground dealing with them. And within ResRequest, we can embed your tax layout, so your tax codes on your actual invoice, which splits out your taxes 16%, 2%, 3%, whatever they may be. And you program your printer to work exactly on that invoice. And every time when you initially generate your tax invoice and you print that tax invoice, it gets posted to that printer, adds that label on, it gets sent to your tax authorities, and obviously that can then be still generates the transaction items, which gets posted to your accounting system. But provided that you use ResRequest as your invoicing system and not your accounting system. So what we do is we take your fiscal machine and map it to ResRequest, which allows you to generate those invoices in ResRequest, as well as post them to your fiscal machine.
Thanks a lot, Albert. I do see another question has come through here about pricing, but before I go to that, there was one before that that said, how long does it take to set up a financial interface between ResRequest from sales?
Thanks, Ntando. So how this works is that we'll generally be dealing with the accountant on this, where they'll provide us with a chart of accounts. We'll just confirm that whatever accounting system that the client uses matches, that does integrate to ResRequest. We will then go and show the client how to map the GL codes within the ResRequest system, and they will go and do their mapping on their side. Once their mapping is completed, we'll provide them with a test system where we'll test a few batches to confirm it's correct, and then they will decide on a go live date. Generally, this does not take longer than a month to get them from start to finish and implemented, ready to use the system.
Thanks a lot. I'll take the next one. The question from Charles regarding what are the costs for TallOrder. Yeah, when we're speaking about US dollar clients, it is $50 per month for a TallOrder standard license. We do have a light license and a professional license, but those are for unique situations. We've seen that about 99.9% of our clients are using standard licenses. That in South Africa is a 595 rands per month. Yeah, that's basically the price there. And some things to take into consideration is that, and Balz, I think, spoke about it earlier, is hardware. And she mentioned that when it comes to hardware, we do ask our clients to purchase the hardware. We can help with speccing, giving you the direction in terms of speccing what's the right product and product feature set that you should look out for. But we do ask our clients to purchase, and obviously we are in multiple countries in Africa, so it's very impossible for us to be able to coordinate that. That's really the main reason why we ask our clients to buy directly. Now and again, we can get TallOrder involved in that, where they can help us. But we have seen that it just works so much better if you find a trusted provider within your country, because all the conversations about wear and tear, you can then pick up directly. And then and we have made our clients' lives very easy, whereby we have taken care of the billing. So the whole conversation from selling TallOrder to implementing TallOrder and billing for TallOrder comes through to us, and that's just really primarily because we want to make sure that we make our clients' lives easy and they don't have to have multiple people that they talk to. But we work very well with TallOrder, and our relationship is growing stronger every day. And so it's not to say that there's a relationship breakdown, but it's literally just to ease our clients' lives. So we will handle the billing for you, and most of our clients understand our billing processes already, where they know South African clients are billed monthly, and then international clients can be either billed quarterly, half yearly, or yearly. Sandra Berger has asked, what accounting systems can TallOrder integrate to, Anna?
Currently, TallOrder integrates directly via API with Xero and Sage Accounting. And then we've got a basic Pastel partner integration via CSV. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Anna. Something I mentioned there, I forgot to mention on the pricing, is that there is now a cheaper model for non-inventory points of sales. So if you're just doing a selling location and has no inventory, but we can have those discussions as we talk a little bit more. Albert, to you.
I forgot to say that we also do Microsoft Navision Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics.
Yeah, and that's you recommend for larger clients.
Yeah.
For larger, bigger clients, we do suggest Navision. Albert, can your property management system be a separate invoicing business to your central res?
Thanks, Antonio. Just before I feed back on that question, just the answer there to Sandra Berger there, is that ResRequest is currently working on a cost of sales module within ResRequest. So instead of managing that within your accounting system, you'd be able to manage that on our batch file that we post through to your accounting system. Then heading to your question, Antonio, that's actually a great question. And the question was, can your property management system be a separate invoicing business to your central reservations? That is correct. So what does that mean? So that means that, let's just take this for example, you have a business that handles your reservations, and that's a separate entity. And then when but they don't have a license, for example, to sell alcohol on site. So that means you have a separate entity selling your reservations and a separate entity selling your on-site charges. Now we do cater for this in ResRequest. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but in a way that happens within ResRequest is that a client gets 2 invoices. So one, your reservation summary is on one document. So your guest gets one reservation summary of where they're traveling, what they bought, what they're doing, what activities they're doing. But when it comes to invoicing stage for the one entity and the second one for the second entity. So once those reservations, those folios then get invoiced, those transactions are then linked independently to their businesses. On your financial interface front, they will then be batched independently into their relevant accounting systems, or even if it's the same accounting system, but mapped independently and posted independently to their different entities. I hope that answers the question. If anybody does want to know a little bit more about it, I'm more than happy to chat a bit about it. We have a few clients that's implemented this and it works very well. If anybody does want to chat a bit more detail about this, please feel free to reach out to support and I'll pick up from there.
That's perfect. Actually, that's a question that just came through now on if someone is interested in finding out more about TallOrder. So yes, you can either email us on support@resrequest.com or info@resrequest.com. And then we'll take you through the sales cycle, as Angie mentioned earlier, which part of step 1 there would be to look at your needs analysis to make sure that this is the right fit for you, because that's is definitely priority number 1. Yeah, we have been piloting TallOrder right now for a few sites, and we are just little by little extending the pilot phase, but I think we are probably have piloted 20 licenses already, or implemented 20 licenses already. Actually, this morning I think it went up to 34 when I last looked at the document. So it is a new relationship that the point of what I'm trying to make there is that it is a new relationship, and it is a relationship that's growing, and we are seeing the benefits from it in our clients in different countries like Tanzania, Zanzibar. Well, Tanzania and Zanzibar, the same thing some people might say, and some people might say it's not. And Kenya and Uganda have implemented. Okay, yeah, and the pilot has been running for 18 months now. Unless there are more questions that come through, I think we're getting closer to our ending time. I'll just give about 30 seconds to see if anything else comes through, and then I will move on to closure.
Before we do move on to closure, Ntando, just to clarify there on fiscal machines, that we do have it in various countries running successfully for various different companies. So it's not just working in Africa, but in a few other countries as well. So if anybody is not integrated to the fiscal machine that wants to, they're more than welcome to contact support, and we'll pick up from there.
Thank you so much, Albert. I think that covers us for today. I don't see anything else coming through right now. Yeah, that was an unexpected round of questions that just flooded in. I think it does mean that people are interested in this topic. So I'm glad we had less content to allow for the space for questions. And I think that definitely has made it even more fruitful and more well-rounded for people to understand truly where we stand with TallOrder and where we stand with accounting interfaces and interfacing those with fiscal machines. Now we come to a closure, and here is our team. I think a lot of, if you attended last week, you would have seen this page. So to contact our team for regular coffee chats, system audits, or training. We have obviously frontline team, training team, data center, and professional services. And then you can reach us on Skype, WhatsApp, email, or support, which a part of email is support@resrequest.com. This does come to the end of our 2021 web series. We do intend to make them an annual program because we have seen a lot of value in it, and we are ever wanting to make sure that our clients get the best information and have the best information available for them to better their businesses, because when they grow, we grow together with them. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. It was very awesome to have you along. We will be sending you all the videos probably tomorrow or in the next coming days of all the 4 webinars, and we'll also send them through a questionnaire to ask how the experience has been. I know a lot of and help us improve the web series for next time. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Dado must not touch his mouse because he's jump screens. I'll be waiting for that feedback about my very, very excitable mouse. Thank you so much, everybody. It really has been a pleasure. Goodbye.